Hi guys. I'm trying all this new technology stuff out, and it always freaks me out in the beginning. But it's a brand new thing I'm trying called StreamYard, and I've tried it a couple of times, and I really like it. I wanted to jump on just for a few minutes to give you an update about what's happening in the border. So I wrote myself little notes of all the things that's happened since the last time, and we're just astounded at what God's doing here. It's absolutely amazing to see this story unfold. So many of you who've been tracking with us over the last really couple of years have also probably heard this word that's been prayed here in the Rio Grande Valley for the last 30 years. I first heard about it 4 years ago. I tease the people here that this word has ruined our lives, and I mean that in the sweetest, kindest, best possible way. But here's this word. It's been prayed for 30 years. 1,000,000 souls will be swept into the kingdom from Brownsville to Laredo from both sides of the river, meaning from Mexico and also the southern border of South Texas. And so what a crazy word, what an amazing word. Just to, I'm pretty sure even the whole border from Brownsville to Laredo, it's just barely at 1,000,000 people. So this word prayed for over 30 years. That's on the US side. On the other side, right on the border of Mexico, millions of people live. And what we're believing for, what we're seeing here is God really breathe on this prophetic word for right now. So we've been coming down to South Texas, kind of stirring this word up for the last several years. And in 2 weeks, February 29th, we actually have our first stadium event, which will be held in McAllen, Texas. And we've got pastors from Mexico coming. We've got crossing over the border to be part of this. We've got pastors all along the Rio Grande Valley, hundreds of pastors joining together, believing, Spanish-speaking pastors, English-speaking pastors coming together, believing that now is the time for this word. And this morning, as I was thinking, like, what are we really seeing? And I don't know how else. Sometimes what you're seeing, it's hard to put into words, but if I can, I'd say it's like the beginning of hope breaking into this region. Every time I go to another meeting, another group of pastors, another alliance meeting, even across the border into Mexico, every time I'm sharing this word and sharing what we believe God is about to unfold here, you can see tangible hope and faith begin to flood into the room. And hope can be dangerous for a lot of reasons. As you know, probably in your own personal life, if you've ever gone through a dark season, and I know you have because we're all alive here. When we're in that place of kind of survival mode, the beginning of hope feels so dangerous because you don't want to get dashed again. You don't want to be disappointed again. You're barely hanging on. You've been in survival mode so long, you just are trying to get through the day. And so hope can feel really dangerous because what if it doesn't? What if it doesn't? But the hope is also dangerous for the other reason, because once hope begins to take root into our hearts, into our souls, that's the beginning of real change. And so that's really what we're seeing here in the Rio Grande Valley. So I wanted to give you a couple of updates of what we're seeing from our last time. Looks like a couple of you are on with me on Facebook Live. And if you comment, I think even in this, I might be able to see you. So I'm going to turn on my comments here. So send me a comment. Let me know you're watching, where you're watching from. And I think I should be able to see you. That excites me. I got up really early this morning and thought, I want to talk with you guys, those of you who are partnering with us, believing with us, just share with you what we're seeing. Since my last update with you, we've done 2 regional prayer gatherings, which have been amazing. And we're seeing the power of God really bring people together, pastors who haven't worked together, and I mean 20, 30 years coming together, repenting, getting through some of those differences. Actually, I was in a meeting with 2 pastors, and they're both behind this with Fill the Bowls, what we're doing in the stadium. And they said, we haven't liked each other. We have real doctrinal differences, but when it comes to Jesus, we can agree. We can come together. Jesus is our best theology, right? So it's an amazing thing to behold, just even getting in a room with pastors and really praying together, believing for God to do something in the region here. This past weekend, we had, I guess it was Friday night, it's all blurring together. We had a youth rally. I don't know what the numbers were, but we'll send you pictures soon. Youth and young adults from all over the Rio Grande Valley believing for God to do something. The presence of God in there was amazing. We had a youth team leading worship there, so anointed. I found out that they read the same Bible chapter every day. They pray together every morning. This is a youth group that we asked, a local youth group, to come and share, uh, lead us into worship. Phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Young people all over the room giving their life to the Lord, saying yes to seeing their campuses one for Jesus, being that point person in the campus. It was absolutely astounding. Last week, I headed in with Larry. We crossed over. It's one of the most dangerous borders you can actually cross from South Texas into Mexico, which is the border of Reynosa. It's actually where Larry was born. And so we crossed over into Mexico to begin to share this word, because this really isn't about South Texas only. It really is this frontera. It's the border region. God has a plan for this border region. And so I went there to share at this alliance meeting. Different alliance pastors were there to share with them the vision, also invite them to come to the event. But more than that, I said, don't you think that the next stadium gathering should be on this side of the border in Mexico, in Reynosa? And little did I know, I didn't know who was in this meeting, and I don't speak a lick of Spanish, as most of you might know. But there in that meeting, there was a man who works for the city. He's high into the government of Reynosa. And while we were even in the meeting, we had this man in that gathering say, he was texting during it, he had apprehended the stadium of Reynosa for us. So we actually have a free stadium in Reynosa already planned. Our goal is to head back this next week and begin to sign the paperwork and believe for a move of God in Reynosa. God is doing something here. I just want to, I don't know if I'm communicating. I haven't had all of my coffee yet, but God is doing something in the Rio Grande Valley. It's amazing to see what's happening here. Yesterday, I preached at a church here in the Rio Grande Valley called Abundant Grace, and I shared my testimony of coming out of drugs, of my mom and my family praying and fasting for me to come into the kingdom. And there, in that gathering, I don't know, 20 called to give their lives to Jesus. God is doing something in the Rio Grande Valley. It was astounding. We're getting reports back even from that altar call of people who were on the prayer team feeling and encountering the supernatural power of God there in the altar. God is breathing on these dry bones. And so I just want you to know this is an amazing thing to be part of. It's an amazing thing to invest our lives in. And I'm asking you, partner with us, stand with us. We honestly, we're on the front lines. We're kind of in some dangerous territory every now and then. And we feel God's protection. We feel God's love over us, but we really need God's provision in our lives. So as we are building this for the region, we just need to remind you that we need your support. We're missionaries on the front lines. We don't have a home church anymore. And so everything we do, we count on monthly support from people just like you. And in the past, I think I've been really shy to say, hey, look at what we're doing, invest in what we're doing, but we really need you to look at what we're doing and invest in what we're doing. Maybe you've got a one-time gift you want to sow into our family as we pull all of these parts and pieces together. It's interesting because even in this stadium event, guys, our name is not on anything. But we are believing for God to breathe on this in a way that we've never seen him breathe on before. And so I'm asking you, consider sowing, investing into our family as we pull these parts and pieces together, as we give our lives on the front lines. Give us a one-time gift or consider becoming a monthly partner. I'm going to put, I think I've got a little thing here. If you want to become a monthly partner with us, give right there to leahramirez.com/give. Partner with us, believe with us. I think, moving out of the role of pastoring full-time to being full-time missionaries in the field, it has been a interesting and rough transition. We don't know how to be good missionaries yet. We don't know all the stuff we're supposed to be doing. We just kind of threw ourselves into the front line, and that's good. And we're seeing God be so effective. But I also just feel the weight of our family being out here, and we just can't do what we do without you. So prayerfully consider, when I'm telling you what we're seeing God do on the border, I'm telling you we've never seen God do anything quite like what he's doing. And I don't want to be shy about saying, partner with us. Partner with us as we're out here in the front line. Believe with us, stand with us, pray with us, send us anything you're getting in prayer, dreams. We've had different friends over the last couple of weeks send us dreams, and been so encouraging to us. Some of them have been directional for what is happening here on the border. And so we really count on that. It's interesting being in this role on the front line without a home church. It's, you feel like you're pretty much out here. And so our core people are the ones who partner with us in the work that we're doing now. We've just got a handful of partners, just a handful, who've been able to sustain us in this work. And we're looking to increase that base for prayer support. We're looking to increase that port to just make it a little easier on our family as we navigate traveling so much like we do. And so I'm asking you, partner with us. We love you. We we're well aware of our need for you and need for partnership. And so I feel like this is good ground in the Rio Grande Valley, and I feel like we are good ground as we give ourselves to the assignment in the Rio Grande Valley. So prayerfully consider it. I love you. We're about to head out to another alliance meeting across town, but I wanted to take a few minutes and just give you the update. And thank you, thank you, thank you for loving us so well, for believing with us and standing with us. I will see you soon. Bye.